Hey guys, welcome back to Critical Flight. Today I'll be reviewing the newest movie by one of my favorite directors, Edgar Wright, Baby Driver. So I'd like to start off by saying Edgar Wright is one of my favorite directors. I mean, Shaun of the Dead is up there with, it could be my favorite movie, but it's right up there with Alien. I love that movie, and I love Hot Fuzz, and The World's End, and Scott Pilgrim, and pretty much anything that he's made. I think he's just a great director, and I think his style is super entertaining. So naturally, when I saw this movie was coming out, I got really excited. I was pretty let down when Ant-Man was supposed to be, written and directed by him. You can still see some elements of his writing in it, but I was really looking forward to that. So this movie was just something that I really wanted to see. So basically, this movie is about a driver named Baby who's played by Ansel Elgort. I know I probably pronounced that wrong. But so basically, this character, he's a driver for, a crime syndicate. He's a getaway driver, and you kind of don't really know what's going on with him in the beginning of the movie. He has these weird traits about him. He doesn't talk, and you can tell he's not interested in what's going on, and you learn more and more throughout the movie why he is the way that he is. I don't want to spoil anything, so I'm not really going to get involved too much in his story or anything, but I will say that Edgar Wright does a fantastic job of making this character really interesting and slowly fleshing him out and giving you more and more pieces to why he is the way he is and his motivations, and just basically making you root for this character and really understand what he's doing. So at the end of the day, Baby's the driver. He's the main focus. There's also a love interest played by Lily James, who you may know from Cinderella and also Downton Abbey. All the other characters in the movie, including John Hamm's character, Kevin Spacey's character, Jamie Foxx's character, they are interesting and they're good characters. They're just, I don't feel like I got enough from them to tell you in this review whether they were, what they did in the movie. The performances I thought were pretty solid. I thought that Ansel Elgort's performance was really good. I think he was really likable, and I think he made you really root for him, and he really sold that character as being a charming, innocent, reclusive guy, and I really liked when he was on screen, and while he doesn't talk a lot in the movie, I thought that his lines were well used. The movie also has a lot of physical acting. I mean, there's a little bit of dancing going around and a lot of action scenes, and I thought they were shot really well. I thought that the tracking shots they use, especially when Ansel Elgort's character Baby is dancing down the street multiple times or in his car, and I just thought that it looked really good and it was really entertaining and it kept me focused on the screen. Speaking of dancing, there's a lot of music in this movie, and I thought it was used extremely well. It was kind of interesting because it wasn't like a straight up soundtrack like you'd see in almost like Guardians of the Galaxy. It used the music to set the tone and also mix with what's going on the screen. So the sound effects that are going on the screen, like the running and driving, they mesh with the music, and it's really interesting because it hits the upbeat, the downbeat, and it made it really pleasing to watch. In fact, I think that was probably my favorite part about the movie, is the way they integrated the music into the cinematography and the sound design in the movie. And I honestly don't think I've ever seen anything done to that caliber like that. The stunt work and choreography for the driving scenes and even the running and chasing and shooting scenes was done really well. I thought it was really well edited together. It looked really solid. I don't associate Edgar Wright with action, but he did this really well, and I'm interested to see more movies like this coming from him. The other movies, they have, they're a little bit of action in them, but this was, I would say, almost straight up an action movie. The love interest that goes on in this movie between Deborah and Baby, the two main characters, I feel, it's sold really well, and I feel like it's really developed, and you really feel for these two characters, and you want them to get together and just get out of the mess that's going on in the movie. It didn't feel forced, didn't feel corny or anything like that. It felt more grounded and realistic, and I thought their connection was easily seen on screen. You can definitely tell this movie is an Edgar Wright movie. It's not as stylized as the Shaun of the Dead or things like that. It's a little more subtle. It's not as in-your-face Edgar Wright, but I really liked it. I thought that it was really well done, like all his other movies. It had that heist feel, but then still stuck to that whimsical kind of style he does with the quick dialogue and everything like that, and I mean, I thought it was great. The only negative I would probably have about the movie is, while it's not a long movie, there's a little bit of a lull in the middle of the movie that kind of, it felt a little long, but I think that's because it's bookended by really action-packed scenes. Speaking of action, the driving was fantastic in this movie. I know it's the selling point, it's Baby Driver, but they really did it. They did a great job. It wasn't too over-the-top like Fast and Furious style. It was way more grounded and way more similar to how it's done in Drive, but it's done in this more artsy, fun way, and I thought it was fantastic. Especially the first driving scene that you get right off the bat in the movie, which is with one of my favorite cars, the Subaru WRX, which I used to drive, and I thought that was just so well done. It looked so good, and it was so satisfying. There's some pretty good chase scenes, both in cars and on foot, and some really good gunfights, actually. I wasn't expecting that from this movie. I didn't know there were going to be so many, and they were really well done. It kind of reminded me of like how Free Fire was, like that frenzy of shooting where you're just blinded by what's going on with the action. So in the end, this was another really solid outing by Edgar Wright, in my opinion. I think it was great. I think he just hasn't missed yet. I don't know when we're going to get a miss from him, but I don't think he's missed yet. So if I were to rate this movie, I'd give it an 8.5 out of 10. It's really good. See, I really like Edgar Wright movies, so it might be my least favorite Edgar Wright movie, but it's still really good. Like, that's really an accomplishment. If you're my least favorite Edgar Wright movie, it's still really good. Definitely go see it. If you're a fan of Edgar Wright, you'll love it. If you're a fan of car chases, you'll like it. If you like music integrated into your movie, you'll like it. And it has some really good action, as well as some heartfelt scenes. So guys, thanks for watching. Remember to like and subscribe. We're probably going to see a lot of movies this week, so we're trying to put up as many videos as we can while we can still do it. So yeah, thanks for watching, and tell me what's your favorite Edgar Wright movie. I mean, I think all his movies are great, so just let me know down in the comments below, and yeah, thanks for watching. See ya.